The most important thing is not how you make your game. The most important thing is what makes fun for you and you stick with it, okay, bro? That's the most important thing. If you make your game in assembly and you're having a blast, more power to you. If you wake up 95% of the time every morning and you're like, damn, bro, I can't wait to do the MOV, 5,6, then go do that. If you are like a Unity nerd, then go for Unity. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. And I don't care whether someone has an opinion about making an engine or not. Because ultimately that's how I could stick to... I always wanted to make games. I started making games, tried to, when I was 13 years old, 12 years old, something like that. I tried to make a mod for my beloved game Gothic 1. I couldn't. I was too stupid and it was too difficult. I failed. So I stopped. Then, later, I tried Unity, make a game in Unity. Failed. Much later, tried a game in Unity. Failed again. Much later, tried a Udemy course to make a tower defense game. The guy was using a bunch of buzzwords while reading off a fucking already existing program. And I told myself, why am I watching this loser write an already existing game and pretending like he knows what he's talking about, while at the same time constantly shouting, it's gonna be awesome, it's gonna be awesome. I felt like a moron, but I still finished the tutorial. Udemy, you dummy, yeah. And so, but ultimately I didn't stick with it. And then for the last time when I told myself I'm gonna be a game developer now, I started Unity, and after 3 months of no progress, I had to accept the fact that I'm just not a Unity person, bro. So, it's not a skill issue. I just don't like the workflow. I just don't enjoy it. I enjoy this, as crazy as it is. But it's gonna be awesome, yeah. Exactly. ALS Journey, thank you very much for following, and Angus Meng, and Rantmaster, and Cormano, you guys, thank you, welcome. Same for Unreal, I suppose. No, I didn't give Unreal a fair try. I tried Unreal after getting pissed off by Unity, and the first thing that Unreal did was compile shaders for 4 hours. It loaded a test level for some reason, and it was compiling shaders on my slow-ass computer back then, and it took like 1,000,000 hours. I don't know why. I just wanted to fucking open the engine and put something in there, and I had to wait. And so I made myself, you know, I was still at my parents' at that point. If I remember correctly, or was it here? No, was it here? I think I left here already. Yeah, must have been here. I tried it after Unity. PC issue? Yeah, sure. You might actually like Godot if it's very lightweight, Cakes. We tried Godot. What I don't like about Godot is the bugs. There's quite a few bugs in there, and I don't want to, like, if I use an engine, I don't want to have to go into the engine code to fix bugs, number one. Then I can use C++ directly, okay? And have no one tell me how to program, okay? I can program the way I like. Number one, unfortunately. So that's why I can't use Godot. Bugs, but then is UI issues, physics issues. Oh god, like, don't get me started on the stupid physics issues. It's insane, man. I was making a 2D game and stuff was flying everywhere, man. It was flying everywhere, and it was like, are you kidding me? Why don't you just push out each other? And it was so bad. Like, the worst bug that I had in Godot, which might be an engine bug, but this is the worst bug I had. So I had a unit that I wanted to spawn in this location, okay? And so if I spawned a unit with a collider, and that could be any collider, let's say a circular collider like this. I spawn a unit here, and then I ultimately spawn at the same frame, at the same time, I spawn another unit here. So I have 2 units in this location. They ultimately would be on top of each other and don't push each other out, because it is impossible for the resolver, the physics resolver, to resolve the collision. So it wouldn't push here and push the other one here or here. It didn't have a default push algorithm. It would just keep them on top of each other. And I programmed Vampire Survivors in my own C++ engine. And it took me literally like 5 minutes to program if the person is on the same position as the other person or the enemy. I'm gonna push them to the right, one to the right and one to the left. It's the default physics engine is unusable and people recommend George, then it should not be the default. If the default physics engine, yeah. So if people recommend another physics engine and you shouldn't use the default physics engine of the engine that you're using, then it should not be the default physics engine. That's a good point, Mr. Ramis, and I totally agree with you. Okay, so there's a bunch of issues that ultimately had me stop Godot. I like the scripting in Godot. I really like it. I love it. It's actually fun. It's really cool. Debugging could be a bit better, but otherwise I enjoyed it. It was fun. Could be related to maintenance and licensing. Yeah, I guess it could be. It's open source. Yeah, like it's not 100%. I know, and it's open source, right? And so it can be fixed over time and stuff like that. But ultimately, why? So like, you have to ask yourself the question, why do you use an engine? Do you use an engine to program or fix bugs yourself? Or do you use an engine to have a package available to you that gives you everything that you need, like the building blocks, to make a game? If you have to step back multiple times and fix the engine while you're making your game, I feel like you're wasting your time. That's my honest opinion. Unless that's what you want to do. I'd rather use Unity, to be honest, because it is a more complete package than